She even brought up that I used to smoke. I quit over 5 years ago. Then she resorted to locking me out of our bedroom and crying so loud you could hear it all over the house. So when my eldest came to me, I ended up putting two and two together. She was cheating, and her behavior was very similar to the mood swings she had while pregnant with both of our children. Similar, I say, because it was even worse, from what I've gathered searching online and what friends and even a counselor have told me. My wife was very moody from and projecting because of her cheating. I can't claim to be an expert in psychology, but it does seem to make sense. I wanted it to all be a misunderstanding, but I quickly ordered and set up a few hidden cameras without anyone knowing. I had them delivered to my work just so no one at home would see them. Then I set them up on a day my wife went out to have a girls' night with her friends. It was very easy to hook them up and connect them to the Wi-Fi. In just a few short hours, I could monitor every part of the house from my home PC, laptop, and work PC. At first, I worried I might have been going overboard. I thought if it turned out I was wrong, then I could remove the cameras and no one would ever know. But no, my worst fears were confirmed as I got plenty of evidence in just the first week. The man my wife has taken as an AP is a former colleague of hers. I remembered him quite well as they seemed close with my wife whenever I met him at various functions. My wife quit her job years ago to be a full-time mom after getting pregnant with our first. It was a mutual decision for us both at the time. My wife stayed connected with her former coworkers as they were her best friends. But not anymore. What I'm about to tell you has pretty much made her hated by everyone. Firstly, the AP is younger than my wife by about a decade. She mentored him at her former job to fill her position when she left, and the two of them stayed close, very close. My wife and I are both over 40, but you wouldn't know it from looking at her. She's positively stunning. She got mistaken for someone in their 20s quite a lot, and I think she used that to her advantage. I ended up confiding in my sister about what was going on and showed her the footage from the nanny cams. She told me she'd suspected for a while and said she'd seen my wife once at a local bar getting a bit too close with a man that wasn't me. But they never kissed or anything while she was watching, just lots of contact with the skin on the shoulders and back. And since she wasn't sure, she didn't tell me sooner. I ended up ordering a GPS tracker as well, and after I got it working, I hid it in the trunk of my wife's car. My sister and her husband agreed to help me and follow the tracker on my wife's next supposed night out with friends. She went to a completely different place, much further away than where she usually goes, and from there, she met up with AP. My sister and brother-in-law observed them for some time from their car and noticed AP kept rubbing her stomach while they were talking, and they recorded video of this too. When I saw the footage, I knew she had to be pregnant with his baby. Since she was so moody at home, my sister and Bill had to calm me down because I turned into a complete mess. I wanted to drink, but my sister very correctly told me that drinking was the worst thing I could do at the moment. Later, I decided to take a leave from work but told my wife I was actually going to be on a business trip. She couldn't have been more excited about it and didn't try very hard to hide her glee that I'd be leaving for a while. Who is this woman? She's certainly not the one I married almost 20 years ago, right? Did someone who looks exactly like her just take her place one day? Is she an alien from the pod people? Did I ever really know her? The more I thought about it, the less it made sense to me. So my end conclusion was that trying to make sense of anything wouldn't do me any good. I had cameras all over the house, and my sister and brother-in-law agreed to take my kids for a few days because they love visiting auntie and uncle in the city. This gave my wife the exact opening she wanted. She called AP only a few hours after I left, and he showed up that evening to spend the night. I won't go into any detail about what they did around the house, you can fill in those details yourselves. But on top of all that, they were joking about me continuously. They openly talked about their baby and how they needed to figure out what to do before it starts to show, as she was already over 4 months along by then, and there was no way it could be passed off as mine. AP is a different race from me, so it'd be pretty easy to tell the baby wouldn't be mine from birth. My wife brushed AP's concerns aside and said that they had months to figure it out. Then she shamelessly admitted this wasn't even her first affair, as she'd slept with another man when she was 25. She told AP she was sick of having to act like a good housewife and was tired of being around a boring man like myself that made her feel old. And if it wasn't for me being so financially stable she'd have left me long ago. Even her AP asked her about what her plan is with our kids. Her exact words were he can have them. She didn't even want to be around our kids anymore. Because she thought they liked me better and she'd soon be having her do-over baby anyway. I very nearly threw the laptop on the floor in my motel room because I was so disgusted. But I contained myself, got some dinner at a diner and then watched a movie after that. I spent half the night just laying in bed and thinking till I finally fell asleep. I thought I knew my wife so well, I loved her and would have given her all I had to give, but in the end some people are just like this and you can never really know who they are till they reveal their true self. I made up my mind right then to destroy her in a divorce.